All right, guys. So today we are chilling with a glass, and we definitely needed this glass. Definitely needed this glass because this conversation is no ordinary conversation, But this tastes really good,
I like it.
and yeah, and it's something that we can definitely have on a date.
Yeah, some
Yeah, something
dinner.
that will set the mood, set the tone.
Yeah.
Relaxing, nice. Not that tone to take
Let's
you
get it
home.
on.
But just boom.
Yeah, absolutely. And even on the topic of dating, dating right now feels like a maze. Everyone's talking, but nobody's defining. And somehow everyone's confused.
Yeah, babe, and you know what's crazy as you talk about that? I've heard so many stories of young women who share, oh, I'm talking to this guy, and I thought that there was something going on, but
Yeah.
only to realize.
Let me tell you, gentlemen. Yeah, that's true. Let me tell you, gentlemen. You see that young woman that you're talking to right now? You might be thinking, yes, she's the one. I'm going to take her home to my mom. I'm going to take her home to my parents because she is the one. That's in your head, though, because in her head, she's going to break up with you this December.
And that's a crazy
And that's
part.
the crazy part. And
The
yeah.
crazy part that baffles my mind is that a woman can be with a man who she knows that she's not going to be with for the long term. She's just counting down the months. I'm just going to
Man.
be with this guy for 5 months. And after
Yeah.
this 5 months, that's it. But vice versa. I'm talking to you right now.
Yes, sir.
Bro, get out the way, bro. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her. Listen, ladies, the guy that you are talking to right now, in your mind, he's the one. And
His
you're telling
husband.
everybody that, yo, this is your guy. But guess what? In his mind, he's just enjoying the ride. And that's the reality. And so the question is, babe, the question is, what does healthy dating actually looks like?
Good question.
How do you even know when to move on from dating to something deeper, like courtship? How many of you guys even know what courtship is?
Right.
How many people know that dating it did not start at just a one night stand or a hookup? It actually started with getting to know each other, and from that it moves to courtship. Listen, if you are tired of confusing talking stages and situationships, this episode is definitely for you. It might just be your reset.
And guys, we are doing a two-part series where we're diving into the myths, the steps, the realities, and don't forget the boundaries that actually makes relationships work.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to talk about timing because that's very important and vital,
Absolutely.
right? We're going to be talking about purpose, alignment, in both situationships, suitability. Remember, guys, we stress heavily on our episodes. Suitability is key to the sustainability of every relationship, not just compatibility. Check out our last video, right? And direction, not emotion, not feelings. Well, but not with down there, so right? Not with down there,
Yeah.
but with up here,
With
up here.
thought.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And then in part two, my favorite part, we're going to go into courtship and what it means to build something lasting, not just something exciting and fleeting for the moment. I'm ready
yeah,
for it. I'm
yeah,
ready.
because love isn't just about finding the one.
That's right, babe. It's about being the right one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
guess what, guys?
This is Unfiltered Heart Talks, and you deserve this kind of love.
Our love isn't absent problems, but it sure is absent drama. You deserve this kind of love. Unfiltered Heart Talks with the Dawkins.
So, babe, let us start this off by getting real about dating. Not just what culture says, but what it actually is. And we both know that dating has been sensationalized. You
Mhm.
know, what dating was, what it meant is completely different from what it means now.
Yeah.
And you can just see by a simple search of Google. When you search what dating is on Google, what does Google tell
Okay,
you?
so Google says dating is the process of two people spending time together to explore romantic or sexual and assets. No, no, no. Romantic or sexual interest and assess their compatibility. So Google doesn't even include the word suitability. It's all about seeing somebody, liking
Compatibility.
them, having sex, seeing if it works or if it
If it
doesn't.
doesn't work.
And
And
that's just in short terms, in layman's terms, a one night stand.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's myth number one.
Myth number one.
Dating is not exclusive.
Yeah.
Guys, myth number one, dating is not exclusive.
Yeah. It's a discovery phase. You're getting to know people. You're narrowing down your search. You have a group of 5 guys or 5 girls that you're interested in. You're getting to know them individually in different circumstances. And then you're narrowing it down. That is what dating is. It's not meeting someone for the first time, liking them, laughing at the same jokes with them, and then sleeping with them and saying, yep, this is a relationship.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
that's the biggest myth.
That's the
That's the
biggest
biggest
myth.
myth.
Of
Myth
course.
number two.
Myth
It's
number
popular
two.
say, the popular saying, you popular saying. You have it right down.
Yes,
down
it
there?
says, if it feels right,
it
it
must,
must
be
be
right.
right. Lie upon lie upon lie. That's the lie from the pit of hell,
Right.
guys.
But you know that's driven, and as I reflect on our previous episode that we did,
Yes.
it's driven by compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, compatibility, if it feels right, it must,
It must be
be
right.
right.
Yes.
Compatibility is based heavily on feelings, you know,
And surface level things.
and surface level things.
Mhm.
So that's and it's just crazy, like because almost everything you see about dating now in the 21st century on YouTube, everybody's talking about compatibility. If you don't have compatibility, your relationship won't work. And compatibility is that's just far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's far from the truth. And guys, that's why I'm telling you guys, go check out our video. Compatibility isn't enough to keep love alive.
Absolutely.
Go check that video out because that is key to
That
the
laid the
sustainability.
foundation.
It definitely lays the
Yeah,
foundation.
it definitely did.
You know, what's myth number three, babe?
Myth number three, and before we move to myth number 3,
Mm-hmm.
myth number 2 is something that a lot of women fall for
Right.
because we're more in touch with our feelings and
Mhm.
everything. So if it feels right, it must be right. But we can't always go based on our feelings, ladies. You could be wrong. You could be wrong. So please do not depend on your feeling to determine whether or not this is a relationship for you, whether or not this should be exclusive. No, do not do that. Feelings are fleeting and you should not build a foundation on just those things.
Right. And what I would want to say here is that compatibility isn't the same as suitability.
And we had the video on that.
Right?
Go check it out, guys.
Compatibility isn't the same as suitability.
Absolutely.
And if you truly want to know the importance of suitability as it relates to the sustainability of your relationship, go check that video out.
And we'll link it in the description box below so you don't have to go scavenger hunting through our page.
All right. Myth number 3.
Myth number 3.
What does it say?
Dating is for fun. It doesn't need to be serious.
Yeah. But you find that in the, especially in the West, you find that a lot of people date just for fun.
Absolutely.
It's not intentional dating.
Mhm.
I'm just exploring, seeing what's out there, you know? And it's crazy. It's just crazy what dating has become in the 21st century. And it makes me wonder, like, the generation that is coming after this one, like, like, I don't know.
You must remain celibate and single.
Boy.
And that's why you find out on Pop the Balloon or Find Love. A lot of times men and women
Mhm.
ask, especially women, are you intentionally dating to eventually marry? Because a lot of people on the line, very few people are really there for a long lasting relationship that will eventually turn into a marriage and, an empire.
Right.
Many people are just there for what they can get. So that's a very important question to
Hmm.
ask.
And as you talk about pop the balloon and find love, a popular thing that you will hear some people say is that whenever they whenever what's her name again?
Arlette.
Whenever Arlette asks, is he your type? Some people response is, no, he's not my type. What is your type? You just know when you know. And the reality is, healthy relationships are not stumbled into.
Yeah.
You know, buck your toe and you just fall into a healthy relationship. It's built on a solid foundation.
Absolutely.
You know, and that is important. With like, there are so many misconceptions that people have about relationship, and here we are debunking those myths because, again, healthy relationship is not stumbled into, right? It is built on a solid foundation. You need time, you need purpose and direction.
Yeah, and we're not saying that dating shouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
It should be fun. However, you do need, as you said, direction, you do need purpose, and it has to be intentional. Because if you're not intentional in dating as a woman or a man, you're going to be dating forever. And not in the healthy sense where two people date each other after marriage. I'm talking about you'll be dating forever and never finding a relationship where you can say, "Yes, mom, she's the one. She's the one."
Myth number 5. Cheers to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to this one, because this one is, I think this one comes up in different ways. Like, this one comes up in ways where you say, oh, he's insecure, or
Yeah,
oh,
the word insecure is just tossed
it's
around
just
like a little
tossed
ping pong
around,
ball.
you know, or you're not secure in yourself. Hey,
Yes.
what you call those are manipulative tactics, gaslighting, you know. But boundaries, myth number 5, the boundaries ruin the vibe.
No.
So the guy with the standard is seen as being insecure, or even the woman with the standard is seen as
stingy
being
and insecure and
too
too
full of
snobbish
herself.
and
Yeah,
full of herself.
yeah. So
No, you need you need those boundaries.
boundaries actually protects the connection, and we have a video on this. Go check out our video on boundaries, the importance of
We
boundaries.
did a video on boundaries.
Yeah, you don't remember?
Oh my god.
We did that video on boundaries, and we spoke about how boundaries have been a game changer for us in
Oh
our
yes,
marriage.
absolutely.
Yeah,
And we talked
boundaries
about
are
secrecy and privacy and stuff like
and
that. Absolutely.
a lot of things. Boundaries are
Yes.
very, very important.
It's very important,
It
and it
protects
does
you.
not ruin the
It
vibe.
protects them. It protects the connection. It lets people know where they stand. And
Absolutely.
the reason why boundaries have to be established in the dating phase. When you're dating, you're not hugging people. You're not kissing. Even if you're hugging, it's like church hug.
Side hug.
Side hug. You're not getting too comfortable, or you're not
Familiar with
heavily
anyone.
flirting.
Yeah.
You're allowing people to know who you are. You know, but it's not like you're doing heavy flirting and you're just getting to know somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, so at the end of the day, if the same guy sees you with another guy, he doesn't assume that, oh, the same thing, oh, she was
She's doing the
kissing up
same
on
thing
me,
that
and
she
yeah,
is doing with him.
you don't want that. So the boundaries are important, and the guy is the same thing, because the reality is, babe, one of the things that is very, I would say, very challenging when it comes to dating in the 21st century is that if you see a girl talking to multiple guys,
Yes,
you
he mentioned
automatically
that.
assume that she's a
She's
whore.
messing around. Yeah.
Yeah. And if she sees the guy talking to multiple girls,
He
it is
has to be a
automatically
dog.
assumed that he's a dog or he's a whore.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But if dating was not sensationalized,
And
if
super sexualized, as you
and
say.
super sexualized, you know,
Yes.
if dating was taught in the way it
Should be taught.
should be taught,
Absolutely.
you know, if people understood dating in the right context, then no one would assume that. The boundaries would be established and people would understand that, hey,
this is just the process.
This is just me getting to know people.
Yeah, it's just a process.
You know, I remember in my dating phase, I was talking to multiple different girls. You know, that's how I understood. But thank God for the church, because the church really helped to mold that mindset in me. So I understood that, you know. But that's it for the myths, guys. Let's get into the deeper
Debunking, yeah.
conversation. What is dating? What really is dating?
So according to this definition we have, dating is a process of getting to know not just one person but multiple people. It's a discovery process. I don't know if you've ever gone through the the if you've ever done a discovery in a
I think.
lawsuit.
Mhm.
They dig up everything. They want to know the high school you went to. They want to know how much debts you have. They want to know how many credit cards you have. They want to know everything. So that discovery phase is very detailed.
Right.
That is what dating should be, not just for one person, but for multiple people. You have 5 candidates or 10 candidates, and for each of those, you're doing extensive research to find out what their history is like, what their family dynamic is like, you know, who they are at their core, you know, because this is important to see who is suitable with you based on
Right.
your own values and your upbringing.
Right. Your
And so you can actually
maturity.
narrow it down, and
Right.
your
Your
maturity.
maturity, to see if you align,
Absolutely.
you know, again, in maturity, and so many other things that we spoke about, because
Yes.
those things are very vital and important if you're going to build a relationship with anyone. And just to make it a little bit clearer, when you're dating, you can also call it the elimination phase.
The elimination phase,
Right?
absolutely,
It's a
absolutely.
phase where you are going through the girl is talking to multiple different guys, and she's seeing who aligns with her purpose more. And by purpose, we're not talking about spiritual purpose. That is included too, but we are not just solely talking about spiritual purpose.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm talking about your life as an individual, and your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, and what you want to do with your life, where you want to go. You want to make sure that where you want to go, the person that you are going to date is the right fit for that purpose, you know. So all of those things must be factored in. And what you're doing in the dating phase is that you're saying, okay, I've spent a couple of weeks with you. I'm, you know, based on what I'm seeing, you are not the one. I think I like her better. Um, or it's dating, babe. It's literally like pop the balloon and find love.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's
that
literally
pop
like
balloon is more like a speed dating kind
right.
of thing. Yeah.
It's literally like more like a speed
Yeah.
dating. You know, real dating is a process.
It is a process.
You know, you see all
It
of that
can't be
lineup.
rushed. It cannot be
Cannot
rushed.
be rushed, because
be
you talk
rushed.
about the discovery phase where you're doing the background checks, you get to know the family. A lot of people, again, guys, a lot of people think that family is not important.
Oh God.
Let me tell you something. You see, if you're going to marry somebody and your parents don't like them,
Problem, especially if you have a close knit with your parents, if you have a relationship with, because we know that a lot of people don't have a relationship with their parents, but if you do,
if you do,
please, and
if
your
your
parents
are
love you
actively
and they're
involved in your
actually
life,
good people, trust
trust them.
yeah, trust
Trust
them.
them. I've heard the
Please.
stories of many people, and I would love to hear how many people know of stories or probably have experienced this. How many people know of stories where people were getting married and their parents weren't happy with the person they
weren't
were
happy.
getting married to,
Mother not
and
even
then
show up
that,
at the wedding.
and then
Our father not show up at the wedding.
and then that relationship ended. Mine was a prime example. Yours was an
yeah.
example as well.
Well, my parents were both there,
But
but my
they-
mother wasn't pleased, and my father was just like, "Well,
Right.
right?
But
You don't want that."
yeah, my you know, something my father told me, and it had nothing to do with the woman that I was getting married to. He just believed, like many others, that I was too young. He thought he believed that the decision that I was making, it was being made too early, and I wasn't ready. 22 is really young,
It's pretty young,
I'm-
especially for a man.
especially for a man.
Yeah,
you
worse
know,
for a woman. It's bad for a woman, but worse for a
for a
man.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still in the discovery phase of our lives.
You're not even
you know.
established. Everything is just
Not
not
established.
In,
Yeah. So there and ours is not the only stories I know
Oh,
of.
so many.
There are so many. So guys,
So many.
leave a comment down below. How many people do you know who they were getting married, their parents weren't happy with the
Their
person they,
decision, yeah, or the
and
person.
eventually the marriage ended. Comment down below. It might
Mm,
just be a 1% thing. It might be a lot of people. I don't know.
that's true.
Yeah. But moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
So, guys, before you start dating, there are some questions that you need to ask yourself and sit with yourself and be honest with yourself about. I know this is something I stress a lot on this channel because I'm all about introspection, journaling. These are some questions you need to ask yourself. Number one, am I emotionally healthy? Not the other person, you.
And
Are
that,
you emotionally healthy?
babe, and stick up in, that is so important.
Uh-huh.
We spoke about the dangers in the video we did and trauma,
Mm,
healing from relationship or
absolutely.
past trauma.
Yeah.
We stress the importance of not dating broken people. Guys, let me tell you something.
Don't do it.
That is the biggest mistake you can ever make in dating. The biggest mistake you can ever make in dating is to date a broken individual, someone who is suffering from past trauma, whether it is family trauma or
Or
relationship
trauma.
trauma.
Leave them so they can heal
The
themselves.
truth is, every single one of us suffer from some
kind of
trauma,
trauma, yeah.
especially family trauma. A lot of us come from dysfunctional family dynamics, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
However, there are many individuals who have taken the time to do the work, to work on themselves, to improve upon themselves, and to become better individuals. But there are many people who are still suffering from those dysfunctional relationships, and they have toxic traits. Right? They have a lot of toxic traits, guys. And you have to be able to identify these traits. Listen, we say this. The signs are always there.
They're not going anywhere.
Though subtle they might be, the signs, toxic signs are always there. It might just be a loud outburst over something simple or something of the sort, but the signs are always there. I don't believe that you can ever meet somebody and you don't see a trait that might become toxic, or you don't see a trait that might become problematic in the relationship. It's always there, and it's good to address them when you see them.
Early.
But as you said, guys, again, never date a person who is broken, especially people who are coming from broken relationship, because tell you this is what's going to happen. This is exactly what's going to happen. She's going to come from that relationship for the guys, and everything that guy did, you are going to pay for it. I promise you, you are going to pay for it.
And bring it from the side of the family, because nobody talks about the family.
No, but before we get there, for the guy, he's going to come from that toxic relationship, and he's going to turn everything on you. You're going to get the blame. You can't make one move without him accusing you of doing something, because it's the same toxic environment that he's coming from. So it's always important to ask people, when was your last relationship? And they always ask that on Pop the Balloon. It's a very important question. When was your last relationship? Because that is important. Some people might be able to get over it in a year. Some people might be able to get over it in 6 months. Some people might need longer.
Yes.
So
and you need to take that time. Don't
you need
rush
to take
it.
that time. Don't, if you know you're not ready for another relationship, don't rush into it.
And if you see the signs, if you're trying to enter into a relationship with someone and you see that they are not fully healed from their relationship, don't try to play God. You're going to hurt yourself by trying to salvage whatever humane particles of their being that is left. You don't do that. Don't do that. Leave them alone. Let them really sit with themselves, sort themselves out, and then present themselves to the world and to others in the dating pool as a whole person. You are not supposed to expend yourself as this walking mat to help this person come back to a whole form.
To reality.
No.
We always think that we can fix
especially if they're
people.
adults, absolutely not. Yeah. Let them sit by themselves and do the work themselves. Because you trying to fix them is not going to fix them. Them work. Seeing the need to fix themselves and to be better is gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah. And there's this saying that I always say, that never try to be a relationship bender. You are not avatar or relationship tar. You know, this is that manipulation.
Water, air, fire.
No, I don't know. I don't know what they say. Manipulation, narcissist. I don't know what's the other two.
Manipulation, narcissist,
Toxicity.
toxicity,
Like people,
psychopaths.
you are not relationship benders. You cannot bend
You can't
relationship
cross
to
it, brethren.
suit your
Don't do it.
preference. If it is not there, it is not there.
Yeah.
You know,
Babe, you know
you
what?
are not God, as you said, rightfully said, babe. You cannot change anyone. I
True.
made that mistake and I paid for it dearly, dearly. Never try to play God. Never try to fix a broken woman. Women, never try to fix a broken man. You cannot do it. You could have loved him from Wapikil, Philip. You could have loved him from US, go Canada, go right back to Europe. You can never and will never be able to change. Hey, there are certain people, not even God will not intervene with their change. Because if them no want change, God not go force them, and some
That
people
God not
just
go
don't
trip them and
want.
say,
Yeah,
yo, you need
some
to
people
change,
don't
you know.
want to
No,
change.
they don't want to change,
So
they don't want to change.
until, as you always say to me, babe, and you say it so profoundly, so can you say it?
What?
You always talk about something about it. It's underline of people won't change until they want to, but you say it so profoundly when you say it
about
to
the
me.
toxic relationship. A person's not going to leave a toxic relationship.
No, it's unchanged. You always say like,
Oh, I see what you're talking about. A person is not, a person can change for somebody else, but it's not going to be as significant. But you see,
no,
if they
it is-
change for themselves,
Mhm.
if they change for themselves because they sat with themselves and they realized, yo,
Yeah.
life is not good. This is not who I want to be. I want to be a better man. I want to be a better woman. If they change on those grounds, that is, as I've said before, gold. Because guess what? Somebody else pressuring you into stop smoking or stop drinking or stop doing this or stop cheating or so and so is you doing it for them. You see, when you start doing it for you, that is when the true power steps in, because that is your desire aligned with your will and your and the power of God to help you overcome that crap that you think that you want to overcome. But if they just want you to overcome it because they want the best version of you and you don't care about the best version of you, it don't really matter.
Yeah.
I know I didn't say it the same way.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you did.
I know I didn't say it the same way, but that is the essence of a message. Change because you want to change, not because the people around you want to change. Change because you see within yourself a need to be better, a need to improve, a need to be comfortable in your body and not feel ashamed of who you are when you're alone with yourself. Because guess what? You're going to be by yourself, with yourself for the rest of your life. So you want to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just to move through these 2 points, guys. When you're dating, you must know what you're looking for.
I make you give me a
The,
little bit.
the
No, you know, say
idea.
you fill up your cup and you don't give me none. It's all right.
Are you a bibber?
So this cup, this a guys you can share.
Are you a bibber?
Me measure it. No, me measure it. Come.
Babe, listen.
No, it's only class straight. Me come up piece of pour no
Listen,
more than
hold
your
on.
cup
Let me
and
make
you
this
put
point.
mine.
Let me make this point, guys.
Sure.
You see her go
Some
like
of
she a
me feel
bibber.
sweet.
But listen, 2 things. Number one, when you're dating, you must know what you're looking for. The idea that you do not have a type baffles my mind. I think every single human being have a type. To say that you don't have a type is to say that anything can come and you accept it. And I know that's not the truth for people. There are certain things that you're looking for, certain personality traits, certain behavioral patterns
Certain
that you
images,
want to see,
external,
certain images,
typical images, yeah.
certain characteristics. So everybody have a type. Whether you want to accept that or acknowledge that, yes or no, you do have a type. So when you're dating, you must know what you are looking for. That is important. And number 2, the worst time to date, I always tell you this, babe. The worst time to date is when you are lonely.
Are you looking?
And you're looking for
search
someone.
desperately for somebody.
Do not date when you are actively
You
looking.
pick up anything and things your goal. You pick up shit. I think say a diamond. I want to look at diamond. You look
I
at
think
dirt
you
funny.
meant
I
to
don't know
say
dirt.
shite.
Okay, you pick up dung. You pick up
Shite, right?
cow's dung, and you
Mm-hmm.
think it's diamond because it's hardened over time in the sun, and you're thinking, yeah,
It's
it's just a
good.
little, it's just a
Yeah.
reflection of the sun. Yeah, no, it is crap.
Yeah. But
No,
I think the worst time to date definitely is when you're actively looking. Never try to date to escape loneliness.
mm,
It's a bad thing to do.
yeah,
It's a horrible thing to do. You need to take that time. I think that when I met you, I wasn't searching.
yeah,
I remember one time I was actively searching, you know, but like it was like, dang man, can't I just find someone who a good girl? And then someone said to me, they said, "Hey Kevin, listen, man, you're a handsome guy. You are a very good person. You just need to take the time. Like every woman is going to want to date a guy like you. You just need to take the time to relax, spend time with yourself, work on yourself, and I promise you the right person is going to come."
absolutely.
I said that someone told me that before I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after I met you,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's important, guys. Never date when you are actively looking or actively desiring someone.
Yeah, it's
It's the
not a good
worst
time.
time.
You're going off of hormones. You're going off of desperation instead of intentionally searching for someone who aligns with your values and your core goals and your vision for your life. So no, it's no, never a good time. I wouldn't suggest that.
All right, babe. So moving on.
Yeah.
The steps in dating. What are the steps in
All
dating?
right.
How many steps do we have? We have a
So
few
so we
steps to
so
give
so
you
so step
guys.
one.
4 steps,
Yeah.
right?
So guys, there are 4 steps in dating. There is one, we've touched on it a little bit earlier, the
Discovery phase.
interest and discovery phase.
Mm-hmm.
There you can find 50 persons in one room that you're interested in, maybe by just how they look on the outside, how they carry
Or
themselves,
who
how
you
they
might be
dress.
compatible with.
I'm talking about surface level stuff. You're in a room and you see a bunch of people, and
Mm-hmm.
based on how these people dress, because a lot of times we hear on Pop the Balloon, oh, why did you pop? Just initial attraction. This is not how I see my guy dressing, or this is not how I see my girl
Right,
dressing. So
right.
you can be attracted to someone based on how they dress. They dress classy, or they dress hip, like you like it. So it's all about interest and discovery. You can be interested in 50 people, but after you do your discovery phase, that 50 might wind down to 20 or 10 people. So that's the phase where you're saying, I'm interested in this person, I'm interested in this person, I'm interested in this person. But then you go deeper. I'm going to discover what's this person's values on this. What does this person do in this situation? How do they handle this? That's where you just ask all these questions. You get to know all these people. So phase one is just about interest and discovery. It's where you have those light conversations, nothing too deep, light conversations, seeing where everyone's head is. It's not a phase to rush emotional intimacy. So stay away from trying to attach to anyone emotionally. Don't do it, especially ladies. Know how you are. I know how you are. Do not try to attach to anyone in this phase. You're just getting to know people. And the question you want to ask in this phase is, do I like who they are? Or do I simply just like how I feel when I'm with them? One is fleeting, one is more tangible. The character of this person, what you're seeing now, what you've discovered, is it something that you like? Is it something that you value? Don't go on your feelings. Ask yourself that question and then move to stage two.
Yeah. And stage 2, guys, is more intentional. It's the intentional dating phase. And of course, you're going out that, well, let me say the list is way less. You no longer have 10 guys on it, you probably have 5 or you probably have 4.
Yes.
It becomes more intentional. You're going more on dates. And by dates, I'm not talking about going to expensive restaurants and stuff like that. I'm talking about take a walk on the beach somewhere, go bowling, shoot some pool or something like that. Take a walk out on a lakefront. Do nice, chill, relaxing things where you can truly get to see the personality of the person and
Character,
the
yes.
character of the person that you're with. Because anybody can pretend over a fancy meal.
Yes.
You know, anybody can pretend over a fancy meal.
Cheers to that.
You know, so you are getting more, you're getting deeper into conversations. You're talking about values. You're talking about morals. You're talking about, you know, the principles. You're talking more about the future, your goals. You are trying to
See whether you
understand,
align or not.
right, and
Yeah.
understand who this person truly is at their
Yes.
core. And at that stage, you want to be looking out for the deal breakers,
Yes.
the red flags,
Even if it's one, ladies,
and
do not
never
overlook
ignore
one.
them.
Never ignore
We
them.
spoke
Don't
about the
overlook them.
sign.
Don't think that they're just, it's just for the situation. Never overlook them. If it's one deal breaker, eliminate that person. Eliminate, unless it's something minor. But
Yeah, there are some things that you see in an individual, and they might be able. They probably
give
sometimes
an
you don't
example.
even,
Give an
like, for
example.
example, let's say the way how all right, let's say that, let's say you say something to me, but I'm just this kind of person, like, I don't take anything personal,
Mhm.
and I just respond to it like, "Oh,
Oh, okay.
it's no problem. Yeah, it's good."
You're thinking that that guy doesn't care or
Yeah,
something, or he's
you might
just
see it as a case where the guy doesn't care, but in reality, he's just the kind of guy who, you know, he has a tough skin, probably based on how he was raised, you know, and nothing much bothers him to that extent.
it's
So
not that because he doesn't care. He
yeah,
doesn't, yeah.
so you might want to have a conversation to see where his mindset is at. You can say,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
hey, go ahead, babe.
And that's what a lot of people do on Pop the Balloon. A lot of times people say things and people pop based on what they and people pop based on what they say, and then when they expound, some people eventually get their balloon back
There you
because
go.
they didn't understand.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't care, it's that I don't allow trivial things to bother me. Yes, that's a valuable point, love.
And a classic thing within our relationship, we always stress the point, because I don't want you guys to think that we are the perfect couple. There's no
Our
perfection
love
over
is
here.
not absent problem. All right,
But-
just a
right?
manufacture.
But listen, there's a lot of times when I say to my wife, perception is everything. Perception, because and it doesn't only apply to her, but it applies to me. I make assumptions too. She makes assumptions. And that's a normal everyday
Human thing,
problem. It's a
yeah.
human thing. Sometimes we are going to assume things based on what we see,
Or we've
but it might not be
experienced.
the case, you know, or what we. So it's good to have a conversation with people. When you talk about pop the balloon, let me tell you, one of the worst thing I've seen, one of the thing I dislike, I hate to see and pop the balloon and find love, is a lot of women say that they're girls' girl, and I get it. I understand a woman who supports other women.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the idea of a woman popping on a guy because another girl pop. Like, come on, bro. You don't have a mind yet. But
It's
we're not
sad.
talking about pop
I
the
know,
balloon and find love
absolutely.
still.
But
But
it's
it's
never a good,
crazy.
it's never a good thing to just allow the influences around you to everyone around you to influence what you are going to do or what you
because
do.
if I get in a relationship with you,
If
then
your girl says,
anybody
"Leave
can
him,
tell you
boy,"
anybody
gonna
can tell you
leave.
anything.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you just pack your bags and leave.
Yeah,
You know,
everyone
you
has a
don't
remote to your emotions and your decisions.
you know,
Yeah,
you don't want a woman like that. So
absolutely not.
for girls who pop and pop the balloon, it's a good thing they pop. Girls. I do not like girls.
We need to
I don't
start
hate
going
you
live on
guys, but
that.
I do not like you
Yeah.
guys. You know, and
We,
some
we
people don't know
definitely need to
what
start
that
doing
means.
that.
But going back to what I was saying, you know, when you're in the intentional dating phase, the conversations must be honest and true. And trust me, guys, you want to do your homework. Yo, you need to become an investigator in the intentional dating phase. It's the worst when you narrow that the list down to all 2, 3 somebody. Let me say it in English. You need to become an investigator in the intentional dating phase.
That's
And
phase 2, right?
and it's not phase 2. And it's
Yes.
not to say that you weren't intentional in the first phase. It's just that it's a lighter dating phase, you know? In phase 2, when you're trying to narrow the list down to that one person, you need to become an investigator. You must have got family barbecue. Go name up the chicken, the barbecue chicken,
Asking the
and
questions,
everything. Ask
asking
the
uncle the
questions.
questions, and
Find out
grandma,
who in his
the
family he doesn't
cousins.
like. Find
Yeah.
out who in her family she doesn't like.
And find
And
out
that's
what's
the
going
kind of
on.
person you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Because guess what? That's a person
got
who's
the
going to keep it
tea.
real.
They got the
That's a
tea.
person that might just keep it real.
Yeah.
And not in all cases.
Not in all cases. That's true.
But
That's true.
not in all cases. But you want to be able to talk to those persons. Because people change too, and that's another thing. People change,
Yeah,
and you must give people grace.
Grace.
Who I was 10 years ago,
It's not who you are today. And who I was 10 years ago is not who
yeah,
I am today.
you wouldn't date
Who-
me if you didn't meet me 20 years ago.
right?
You wouldn't.
Yeah,
Because
who I
I
was 3 months ago or even 6 months ago
might not be
is
who
not
you
the,
are.
is not
Yeah.
the same person I am today. I have
Yeah,
grown.
so it's good
I
to
have,
give people
yeah,
grace. It's never good to
judge them based on 10 years of
like
past
some
experiences.
people say, hey, have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? And based on the fact that you have done it before, they pop like,
Yeah,
that's
like
crazy.
in a situation like, have you cheated before?
That's crazy.
Yeah, like hip hop.
People can't change. Yo, if I believe so much in change, and I always say this, I am where I'm at today because people believe in me. And I shared with you my experience of when I got
High school,
baptized.
yeah.
When I got baptized, it was a laughing stock to the whole community. It was in disbelief because nobody could believe in their mind, think for a second that this youth, this your brother, yeah? Him, this guy, no way. Everybody was giving me ultimatum. Hey, I'm giving you,
Giving
you
you a
baptized?
couple
Lord
weeks.
have mer-
A week.
Seriously, you? I'm giving you a couple days, 2 weeks, And yo, I talk about this every time. My principal at my graduation, and I got the award, most improved student of the year. And he said, before I met Kevin, I never believed in change.
Wow.
But he came into my office, he spoke to me. I gave him his expulsion letter because I was going to get expelled. I was horrible. That's why I say
Bad boy.
you wouldn't date me back then.
And all y'all on TikTok
And-
saying that you want a man like this. yeah.
But I was really I was just caught up in all the wrong things,
Yeah.
And he pushed that letter to me, and I said, listen, man, I've changed my life. I've given my life to Christ. I'm a changed guy, and I want you to believe me. I promise you that I'm going to make the change. And he said, I don't believe in change. And there was another guy there. He was a Christian guy, and he said, listen, I know Kevin personally. I've been knowing this guy from he was doing all the wrong things that you know about. I believe that he's truly changed. I think that you should give him a chance. And the principal said to me that, hey, I'm going to give you a chance. But if you mess up at any point, you're
done.
out, And I was most improved student.
Wow.
I made a principal who never believed in change.
Believe in change.
Wow. So you can't just judge people based on their past because some people really change.
And when they desire the change, when they themselves desire the change and they put in the work and they put forth the effort to change, they will change. They will absolutely change. As I said, and I stress it so many times, if your daughter wants you to change, if your mom wants you to change, if your pastor wants you to change, if the scripture is saying that you should change, and you do not have that desire to change, if you have not yielded to the knocking of the Spirit on your heart to change and you desired for yourself, you're going to be doing it for people, but it's not going to be a deep reason. When you do it because you see that you can be better, you want better for yourself, it's miraculous.
Yeah. And another important thing that I want to say, let me tell you something, guys. Think about your community. That's not just your house or your neighbor's house. A community is vast.
Absolutely.
I was the most hated young man in my community.
Mercy. There's hope.
Most hated young man. Everybody.
It made me have hope for other situations
Babe,
in this world.
let me tell you
because
something.
why?
If you knew me at that time, even you would me make Christian cuss bad words.
Oh my God.
I was so horrible to the point where even when I did some horrible things in the community, even the Christians coming from church were cursing because this young man is a menace to society.
Menace to society, an imp.
You know what I'm saying?
Your story gives me hope for
People
so many
don't
other people.
understand.
It gives me hope.
And no, I remember when I went back to my community after I got baptized, I went to university, and I was going home to preach, and I saw people from different communities going to my church. And one weekend I said, what's happening at my church? Why are so many people going there? And they said, because you are going down to preach.
Wow.
I said, what, me? They said, yeah, we love listening to your sermons. You are a very good preacher, you know? And sometimes I would go home, and elderly people walk up to me and say, hey, man, it's so good to see you. I was just telling my son that he needs to be like you.
Oh, wow.
I'm coming from a place where I was the most hated guy in the community.
A menace to society. as you
Even
say.
my sister hated me. Sis, if you're watching this, I love
honestly,
you. But
honestly, this gives me hope. This
yeah,
gives me
but so
hope for a
people,
lot of people. People
people
can
can
change.
change. People can change. So it's never good to
But
judge
but
people
guess
on the
what?
past.
Yeah, but you do have to give them that space and that time to make that transition. You can rough it out with them and go through the roller coaster with them, but they need to see the need to change themselves.
Yes.
And as we mentioned before, it is so important for a person who is not ready for that dating pool, who has gone through that trauma, who is that antagonistic personality, to stay and to do the work on themselves before they inject themselves
yes.
into the dating pool.
Yes.
Because
Imagine if
they're
I
just
was
gonna
dating
hurt
when
so
I
many.
was like that.
Can you imagine if you were dating her like that? Then I
It would be
probably,
crazy.
then probably would have sought out your sorrows,
No, they wouldn't.
or
Because
nobody would even
because
want to do.
I was yeah.
Lord Jesus, you could
They
like
would.
my stomach even sick thinking
Yeah.
about it,
Yeah,
because
it's crazy.
there are a lot of
But
people like
yeah,
that today.
but the point is, give people grace when
Give
it
people
comes to their
grace.
past.
Yeah.
Not saying that if
They don't
you're seeing
justify
toxic
current toxic
cycles,
behaviors.
are
No,
right,
no, you
current
don't
toxic
excuse that.
behaviors, you don't excuse that. But if they have done something in the past, give them grace. Don't just not want to talk to somebody because of what they have done in their past. I've seen hardcore killers become pastors.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. And then
No.
we're going into my favorite phase, the favorite phase. This is the phase where you've done your discovery, you've done your investigation, and now you're at that phase where you've chosen that one person, that one person that aligns with your values, that one person that aligns with you in everything, even the dress. Y'all dress a certain way. He doesn't dress hip and you dress modest. He dress classy and you dress classy, and y'all can complement each other on the external aspects of stuff. So this phase is called the exclusive dating phase.
Yeah.
And as we've mentioned before, this is the exclusive dating phase. A lot of people jump to exclusivity as soon as they've met somebody who they think they like,
It's a
and they jump
process,
into
guys.
sleeping with. And that's how a lot of one night stands start. So this is the third phase of dating. This is the exclusive state. After you've done step 1, step 2, you're now at exclusive dating. This
So
is
you
the
find
one
that one
person,
guy
that one
or that
person,
one girl.
that one guy or that one girl, and you are getting to know them more. You're doing
Right.
more investigation. You're doing deeper digs. You're exclusive, and everybody knows that. Yeah, it's Sam and Sally. It's Sam and Sally. It's not, oh, Sam is dating and Sally is dating. It's now Sam
Yeah. It's not a
and Sally.
situationship.
It's not a
Or
situationship.
it's not a entanglement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not an entanglement, and it's not a situationship. It's clear, you know. And the final phase is the decision point.
Yeah. You decide that we're gonna focus on each other. We're gonna focus on building something together. We're gonna focus on our future. We're gonna focus on planning stuff. We're gonna put our ideas together. We are going to do this together. That's when two become one in mind, almost.
Right.
Because there's still not sex. Sex is not ensued at this point, and we do
No.
not encourage that.
Yeah, that and in that phase too, babe, if it's not working, it's just not working. You need clear vision.
Yeah.
You need to know where this is going. You need to ensure that you both are on the same wavelength
Yes.
and the same path. And
And
if it's not working out, you just need to be mature enough to say, look,
it's not working.
it's not working.
Yeah.
Let's end here.
And this is the time when we talk about timelines and non-negotiables. So, okay, in the next 6 to 12 months, we're gonna get married, right? And the non-negotiables are, if this line is crossed, then this whole engagement or this whole ordeal is called off. This is where
Well, it
you
doesn't get to
do.
engagement yet.
No, wait. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's part
Yeah.
2. But this is the point when you're talking to this person, your values align, everything aligns, and you're thinking, okay, you're my person. Let's talk about, as I said, non-negotiables, and timeline for things,
Mm-hmm.
which could lead into in the far future of,
Right.
when we're going to get married, what we're going to do, when is this going to be, plans, because that's just
Mm-hmm.
one person and one person, Sally and Sam.
Yeah.
This is
Mm-hmm.
what I want to mention. Throughout all the stages, we do have mentors, friends, and spiritual leaders and advisors in the process.
Right.
This is where you still have outside ears guiding you,
Mm-hmm.
because this is not a marriage where you shut out everybody else.
Right. Right.
So in this phase, you do want your friends, you do want your mentors, you do want those spiritual leaders to be in your life during stages 1 through 3, even in 4, because you don't want to shut these people out. These people are a part of your dating process. So these people are a part of your dating process. So be mindful. If they have insight on what's going on or what their advice is, go ahead and, listen to them, take their advice with a grain of salt. And you want to have those mentors, the spiritual mentors. You want to have the spiritual leaders and those friends, those family members that want the best for you within those 4 phases, so that they can guide you through those phases. You don't want anybody controlling. You do not want anybody who is going to dictate your life. You want people who are going to honestly want the best for you and are going to give you insight,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
insight to help
Right.
you to navigate this relationship successfully, or navigate everything
Right.
to a place where you'd eventually want it to be.
Yeah. But the thing too, babe, for this, what's wrong with you? For this, you want, I would say you want to be careful the kind of people who you have in your circle, because you don't want single people who are just not on the same wavelength as you are.
And babe, I'm gonna
You
have to
know
stop you there. I'm gonna have
why?
to stop you there, because you know how our TikTok community is.
Well,
Our TikTok community is going to be, well, I have a friend and she is single. She's not dating and she is wise and she's only giving me the best
right.
advice, or he's only giving me the best advice. There's always the 1%, guys.
Yeah,
And we
there's
always stress
always the
that. There
one
is always the
percent.
1%. And
Mm-hmm.
that friend is great, and that friend is going to give you the best advice. Keep
Yes.
that friend
Yeah.
around. We're talking about the single wild broke out kind of people
Right.
who do not care, and who will see the slightest thing and say, girl, you better leave here.
Yeah.
No, you don't want
Yeah.
that. You don't
Yeah.
want that.
Yeah. So you want people who are on the same wavelength, people who are dating intentionally, or people who are in the courting phase.
Yeah.
Married people are good people to have in your circle, because especially if you're
Absolutely.
going to get your thing, especially if you're dating intentionally to get married, you want people who are married. People who have healthy relationships. Of course, not without
Operative
problems.
word, healthy
Right.
relationships.
And of course, not without problems, because every relationship has their own
problems.
problems.
Yes.
And some problems are, you can find the same problems
In most
right across
relationships.
the board,
Mhm.
But you want people who have healthy relationship dynamics, and you want to keep those counsels,
Close by. Yeah,
close
you want
by.
them.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, guys, now moving on to the do's, and then we're going to touch the don'ts.
Okay, do's
What's
and
do's
don'ts
number
while
one, babe?
dating. Take your time. This is not the time, guys. Take your time. Do number 1. Take your time. This is
Mhm.
not the time to be rushing through so you can find that one person you can cuddle up with for Valentine's and Christmas. Oh, no, 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 no. Honey, no. This is not the time. You want to take your time. You want to go through the discovery phase. You want to take your time, because this person, the person that's vying for your attention, the person that's going to be your lifelong partner, this is a serious decision you're making. You do not want to rush it. So, take your time in this stage. Don't rush
Right.
it.
Right. And do number 2. Guys, listen. Communicate honestly. Honestly.
Mhm.
You don't want, I've there's a story one time where a guy dated a girl up to engagement just to have sex with her.
Really? And there's so many prostitutes out there in
Yes.
strip clubs?
And
That's
after
a
and after the sex,
wickedness.
he
Was he a
left.
theology major?
No,
I have to ask.
it wasn't. But I've heard that story and it never left my mind. But the reality is the same on the women's side. Recently we heard of this story of this woman who have been 14 years with this man.
And as soon as she
And
got
right
married,
after marriage, she divorced
Mm.
for the money. So it happens on both sides.
and you
So
wonder why guys don't want to get married, ladies. Come on now.
yeah, a lot of guys do not want to get married, and I completely understand. And in reality, biblically, the system was not involved in marriage. System was not involved in marriage biblically. Yeah, so you understand why guys don't want to get involved, but be honest, be truthful, and secondly, make sure you observe the actions. Do not, and I repeat, do not ignore the red flags. Take note of the actions. Do not ignore the red flag. And we stress that in so many of our videos. Those things are very important. And we're not saying that if you see a particular behavior, then you should ask questions and run tests. Run the test.
Run the test.
Nothing is wrong with testing.
You don't want to find out when you're in the
Yeah.
marriage that this is how this person is. You run the test outside.
Yeah, and see how it is dealt with.
Yeah.
It's not always good to just cut somebody off on the basis of, as we explained earlier. But observation is something that you need to do. I love to analyze people personally. My wife can tell you when I'm out, I'm very, very observant. I'm checking everybody. I'm looking at everybody, and I'm analyzing people, and I'm checking my environment. And I remember when I was in the dating phase, there were girls who didn't want to talk to me because they have a particular perception of me because I was in the observance phase. Like some people expect that when you meet somebody for the first time or when you're dating, you must be like, no, unless that's your personality.
Unless that's your personality.
But for me, I was very observant and I was always taking note. So a lot of girls misjudge me on that. And then after I got in my relationship, they were like, oh, I misjudge you. I said, yo, it's cool. Don't text back.
You're feeling very sweet right now. I can tell. Yeah, and it's important. It's very important.
And last but definitely not least, keep God at the center of your dating life.
And your
Through
personal
to your-
values, yeah.
Through to your courtship and through to the marriage. So let me tell you something, guys, especially for those of us who believe in the power of the Almighty God and believe that there is a God. Not take God lightly. Do not take that lightly. You need to devote yourself to God and and have Him at the center of your relationship and your daily life. Because we talk about suitability can't sustain you
Actual.
like God.
Even though suitability
Right?
is not compatibility, God is the
God
source.
is the foundation, the source of your relationship.
Absolutely.
So in your dating life, you want to keep Him at the center. You want to keep those values at the center, and you want to keep those boundaries at the center because
Absolutely.
those are very important to the sustainability of your dating life. All right. Not number, but next, the
next.
don'ts.
So we're heading into the don'ts. So one of the things, the number one things you don't want to do, especially as a woman, but I'm sure men do it too, but you do not want to date to fill an emotional void. A lot of times we leave relationships and we try to find the woman in the other girl, or we try to find the man in the other guy. Do not ever date to fill an emotional void. It is never a good time, as you mentioned, rightfully so, to date when you're searching, to date when you have that void, to date when you want somebody and you're lonely. It's dangerous. Very dangerous time to date. Do not date when you're trying to fill an emotional void.
Right. And of course, as we stress again, don't ignore the red flags.
Don't.
Consistency reveals
Character.
the true character.
Yes.
All right. Don'ts number 3.
Don't number 3. Do not rush physical intimacy. Don't rush to have sex with this person. This is only going to cloud your judgment.
As we said before.
As we said before.
So that's something that you don't want to do, guys. The sex messes up. Hey, you just want to have sex one time. You just want to have sex one time. And trust me.
And the sky is purple.
The next day you wake up and you're in a committed
You're in a committed
relationship,
relationship.
and that will
One night
never
stand turns
work.
to marriage.
That will never
Sad.
last. Trust me. So you want to make sure that
Do it right.
that you do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right.
Don't number 4.
Don't treat dating like a test drive.
Treat people with dignity.
Yes.
Treat people with dignity. You want to be treated with dignity. Treat people with dignity. Do the investigative. I'm going to say the investigative judgment. You want to do the investigative research so you can know the person that is on the other side. They want to know that this is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. So treat them with dignity.
Yeah. And another thing that we always talk about, don't lose your individuality. Love shouldn't cost you who you are.
Absolutely not.
We did that.
Yes, we did.
That thing over
We
on
did.
TikTok. Love shouldn't cost you who you are. So if you're dating someone and you find out that you have to be giving up pieces of yourself,
Codependency.
yes, you don't want that, right? You don't want that.
No.
So love shouldn't cost you who you are.
All right, guys. I'm sure that if this whole dating detailed video was new to you, you've learned a lot, because honestly, I just thought it was I like you, you like me, we're in a relationship. So if that was you, it's okay. Glad this video was able to enlighten you. So we've covered the myths, we've covered the realities, and we've covered the boundaries. In part 2, we're going to go into courtship. You've narrowed it down. You're down to this one person. You're going to see whether this person is the perfect fit for you to be married to have as a lifetime partner. So
yeah,
stick around.
Dating isn't the end, guys.
It's not.
It's
the
just
end.
the beginning.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be talking about courtship, and we are going to talk about how courtship differs from dating.
Absolutely.
The importance of courtship, a phase that modern dating skips.
Completely skips.
So we're going to talk about courtship, the importance of courtship to the sustainability of relationships, and we want you guys to check that video out.
Yeah, stay
Coming
tuned for
out
that.
next week.
All right.
So stay tuned for part 2 of this series. See you guys on another one. And remember,
this is Unfiltered Hard Talks, and you deserve this kind of love.